are you?
Excellent.
Good. How are you doing?
I'm I'm doing well. It's been a minute, Adam.
I know it's terrible. Finally. And I saw someone close, someone in your inner circle this weekend too.
I heard.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
It is very nice.
Yeah, it was a nice face to run it. I mean, I saw that he was on the you know, program, but I wasn't sure if I would who I. You never know. I was so busy at the festival, I had no idea who I would run into or not.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm exhausted. I mean, just it's just I don't know how I made it all work, but it did, and I fortunately I made every Q&A and every intro and every film I'm supposed to. It was just it was good.
That's great.
Yeah, I had a good time. I did have a good time actually because I there were a couple of films there that I didn't even realize who would be showing up, and you know, they get a lot of people show up for that festival because I think of just their location and the history of that name of Woodstock and all the other you know
Yeah.
and her working those connections, the mayor working the connections for so long, so people show up. So you have a screening, you typically get some people you don't expect to see in a generally in a you know in a more I don't know non non-urban festival,
Right. Right.
because you have to
Well,
try to it's a trip there, right? So
yeah. I
anyway.
mean, yeah. I I would have been there if we hadn't just opened and had really exciting stuff in the city. So, but
I know.
it's amazing that, you know, any festival that's been around for so long and has good people, honors good people. It was nice to see Deborah Granick honored. I will warn you that my allergies are really bad right now, so I'm trying
I'm sorry
to
to hear that. Yeah.
flush out any mucus beforehand.
We appreciate that, but this is a show that we're anything goes sort of with the
Yeah.
as far as body functions. So it's fine, don't worry about it. I don't know what I'm saying. um well, I remember being at, we could sort of start officially here. Hi, Dara.
And
My old friend. um uh I remember being at a, what do they call it, I guess a um official launch of groundbreaking, what do they call it?
there was one of those. Yeah, I think that's
Remember,
exactly.
like good 5 years ago, right? With John was Alpert, and then they brought up Michael Moore was there, and Morgan Spurlock was there, and some city officials were there. I mean, right? Who was there? I
Yeah,
was trying I'm guessing the
a
borough
lot of people
president.
there. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, so people always say, I can't believe it took 5-10 years to make your documentary. Well, as it turns out, can take easily that much time just to open a documentary cinema as well.
It really can. We, are so lucky to have the supporters that we do. Um, you know, we're in a landmark building, so in a beautiful Gothic firehouse. So there's extra steps to kind of go through with that.
Right. That makes
And
sense.
we were so grateful to have both city and state funding. And, we're also just a multifaceted organization. So as plans for the cinema, as the seeds are being planted and things are beginning to grow, everything else is still happening. And so it kind of, yeah, it takes a long time. And it was in many ways before in many ways, it was before my time in terms of some of those seeds being planted. When I got to DCTV, I had heard about little like rumors and things happening, but it really cemented after after 9/11, when there was funding going to support organizations in Lower Manhattan. And it was like when
Right.
they were spraying.
DCTV is maybe 2 blocks or 3 blocks south of Canal Street.
Yeah. So it's been a long time, and we honestly couldn't be happier. It's surreal. And it's magnificent. Yeah.
Well, okay. So how long have you been at DCTV?
I got to DCTV, I think it was right after Labor Day in fall of 2005. I got a call that I was accepted as an intern when I didn't have any reception, and it was Labor Day, and I was like at the beach. And I remember being like, what? I think I got an internship. So I was nearly fresh out of college, having some day jobs here and there, trying to figure out what next steps I wanted to take, thinking about organizations I respected and admired. I was kind of self-taught in documentary in college, taking kind of more arts and culture classes and cultural theory. And then I was like, I think I want to keep up this documentary thing, and looked into some different organizations and applied to a bunch, and DCTV got back to me. And for some reason, for many reasons, I've been there ever since.
It's an unusual thing for somebody. I mean, I'm doing the math in my head. We don't need to do that I don't need to verbalize your age and all that, but it seems like,
I look good.
and I must have met you pretty soon after that, I'm guessing, because I mean, I feel like I've known you longer than 2005, but maybe not.
I mean, I come from a family who had a small business. That was my grandparents. The like mom and pop ethos, I think, is very much in me. And I came to DCTV, and in many ways, that's how John and Keiko run the organization. It's also a lot more professional than that, and minus the nepotism and other things that sometimes happen when it's part of the family. And they've managed to keep just a thriving place that is both welcoming, and yet it's never insular, yet it's so homey and warm, and people feel it. And it's this sense of community that I think sometimes people throw that word around. And the work that they've done and all the people involved at DCTV have created that sense of community. And kind of one thing led to another, and I just became very involved. I worked in all different departments and sections of the organization throughout. But the last, I guess, 10 years, I've been programming. So we had a screening, we would have screenings and events kind of sprinkled in when other things weren't happening in the building. So it's like, oh, well, this space is free and this person wants to screen their film. And then it became a lot more formalized into our DCTV Presents screening and event series, which was kind of fresh off the festival circuit, documentary films. And, but everything was just like a one-time screening followed by a Q&A. Being in New York, if people live in New York City, amazing. And if they don't, they might be passing through, and we can schedule it to happen. And it kind of progressed from there. So it's really kind of taking all of the work that has been done and now just having this dedicated spot. I make jokes, but it's like we used to have folding chairs, and we would adapt wherever space. If people have been to DCTV, it's a very large building, and we would have screenings upstairs and we would have screenings downstairs. And before my time, people would set up folding chairs outside of a mail truck that John and Keiko would screen films from. So, and now it's evolved into like these really comfortable fixed seats, and it has really good sound. And documentary filmmakers aren't used to that. And what a thrill to be able to have that.
So now, is this the only cinema in Manhattan anyway dedicated to documentaries?
I think when the idea started,
because the Maisel Center,
exactly. I think when the idea started, that was maybe the case, but that is no longer the case. And we have so many friends in the community that have been doing this work. I mean, Maisel's, in Harlem, is a documentary
Right.
center and cinema. And there's other, more micro cinemas, like Union Docks in Brooklyn. I mean, there's so many places, and not to mention just so many theaters that screen things besides documentary. But, we're a new kid on the block, in terms of the cinema business, even though we're old kids when it comes to the organization itself. But yeah, we're one of the few spaces in the world that is a cinema that's an exhibition space for nonfiction.
Because yeah, I mean, you mentioned all the sort of pop-up spaces for showing screenings inside of DCTV Firehouse. So it's interesting. I think I might have even hosted a couple over the years, but that this space is now in where was the downstairs, obviously street level, and you enter now from the side street. Is that what
So
I've
it's
heard? There's a
right.
marquee and everything.
Yeah, it's a beautiful marquee with like an LED ticker. Yeah, it's right on White Street, the entrance. So you basically land at 87 Lafayette and then just turn the corner and you see a nice marquee, and it is where the horse stables of the firehouse were. And so this was kind of dead space. We were so lucky that we had this entire huge building, and then were able to receive funds to do something with it. They had to dig really deep to make a good rake, for site levels at the cinema.
Wow.
And
Right.
we refurbished the wood from the horse stables, so that is in the lobby. It's pretty incredible that John did that. So we refurbished all this wood that was originally from the horse stables. And then famed cinematographer Hart Perry donated a bunch of these beautiful live wood slabs that adorn the side of the theater. And they kind of hover over these ever-changing LED lights. And it's kind of this mix of old and new that
Right.
really speaks to DCTV.
Yeah, state of the art, like sound and a great projection system, I assume, and everything.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, and then what was so the first film, is that currently happening now?
So the first film actually just ended.
Oh, just ended on Friday.
It's Abigail Disney and Kathleen Hughes, The American Dream and Other Fairy Tales.
Yeah,
So
they were here. They were on this thing,
they were. Yeah, so that opened us up. We had a
right?
week-long run of that.
How'd
And
that go? How'd it go?
it went great. It was really wonderful to kind of, you know, see a film that is just speaking to so many things that are really important to talk about. And the timing was just perfect when they wanted to get their film in the world and when we were opening. And so
And how many do you have what's the schedule of screenings?
so that was an Academy qualifying run. So those rules, there are a lot of rules when it comes to Oscar qualifying. So for week-long runs that are those films, it screens 3 times a day. And so Abigail and Kathleen were there for a lot of opening weekend Q&As, and then the film continued to screen, and it was really nice just to host, be able just to have our doors open every day. Now we are screening Reed Davenport's I Didn't See You There, which is an absolute gem of a film, and I couldn't be happier to be screening it. And this weekend, Kimberly Reed came to moderate a Q&A with Reed and editor Todd Chandler. Yancey Ford, I haven't seen in forever, also moderated. Fariha Zaman, and there's going to be one more Q&A this week. It's a really exciting moment, and then to also still have our one-off, special events, just like we used to. So we're going to have kind of an ongoing series that celebrates short docs. I feel like a lot of times short films don't get enough love and attention, especially on a big screen. So we're going to be highlighting the work of various film collectives and groups.
Oh, I did see that. Meerkat is first, coincidentally.
Yeah, and then Brooklyn Filmmakers Collective, working with Vimeo. Field Division is going to be doing one. So there's a lot of great things. And there's just so many things that, this was like literally just the tip of the iceberg to get started. And now digging into all the great ideas.
Well, congratulations. It looks great. Um, look forward. I can't wait to come down and check it out and see
Hey, Adam,
something
come
there.
on over.
I will.
Where are you right now?
I'm 100 miles away. So it's a little less spontaneous.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but I'll be down
You're
there.
going to be here for a while, so
I hear that. I imagine so.
that's really rewarding.
Yeah,
So we're
right.
not going anywhere, and you come when you're ready.
Well, the being ready is not the issue. It's being, just getting down there. I'm working a lot up here, but I will totally make the trip down there, and I will let you know when I'm coming, so we can say hello and
Great.
catch up. That'd be nice. And so people can go to hold on one sec here as I do this, dctv.org/
DCTVNY.
NY, excuse me. Don't correct me on my show, please.
Oh, I'm sorry,
DCTV.
Adam. You have no idea the issues we have with our names sometimes.
DC DCTVNY.org.
Mm-hmm.
And then can they just do /Firehouse Cinema, or do they have to?
You can just kind of navigate from there and
Yeah, it's pretty, right now it's pretty easy because it's obviously, as it is new, they're trying to make it as visible and easy to find as possible till it becomes so popular that if anything, you have to try to, take measures to prevent people from coming down. That's a horrible problem to have. But there'll be lines around the block before you know it. It's going to get so popular. But it's of course that people come on to this podcast all the time and call and say we're in the golden age of the documentary. It's one long age, that's for sure. Sort of like my middle age years. It's just going to go on until I pass out, just going to, so, but it's good. Yeah. There's so much incredible content out there. So you guys it's going to be a problem of turning down stuff, I think, or, that's got to be the hardest part. And are you saying that you're making the final call on this?
I'm director of programming.
That's fantastic. Director of programming.
Yeah, it's great. It's thrilling, and yeah, the hardest part of my job is saying no, for sure.
Yeah. Well, don't say it. Have somebody else say it.
We do.
The associate director.
Yeah.
So what's coming up next? You said I Am Not There. What's the name of it? I know it's about right. It's about a filmmaker who is he in a wheelchair, or is he? What's his circumstances?
Yes. He, is filming everything through his perspective. You never see his face. It's kind of the world through his eyes. Whether
POV
or in a wheelchair, his POV.
Right.
Yeah. And just kind of exploring everything through his perspective.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so yeah, please, I don't know when this is coming out, but if it gets out
As soon as possible.
Yeah. That'll be screening through Thursday. And then yeah, we're really excited to kick off this Better Together short documentary program. It'll be an ongoing series. And so Meerkat Media, Brooklyn Filmmakers Collective, Vimeo, we're going to have a showcase of Sky Hapinka's films, and going to keep going. So we're really excited about that coming up. And then our third feature week-long run is going to be Nina Menkes's Brainwashed. So yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. We also unveiled a new membership program. It's not I think what makes everything so momentous right now is not only did we open up the cinema, but we were closed physically during the pandemic. And we tried to move as much as we could into a virtual space in terms of having a virtual cinema and screening room and having virtual educational programs for our youth and continuing ed. But now, the youth media program started coming back over the summer, which was really exciting. And we're starting to have our in-person workshops again for adults. So this was just a moment we were also opening our doors, and now we have a new membership program. So that's really exciting. And with membership, which is a great way to support the organization, also gives you 50% off of film tickets, not to mention so much else. So all good.
Again, people can, I guess, go to DCTVNY.org and check all this out. That's great. Thank you.
Thanks.
Well, thanks for coming on. It was great to see you again after all these months.
Really
And
nice to see you.
thank you. And I will come down because, I have many reasons why I would need to anyway. So
Great.
Great seeing you.
Really nice seeing you, Adam. Thank you
Okay.
so
I hope
much.
your allergies, what's that?
I said, really nice seeing you.
Thank you. May your allergy, may you not suffer too much. Put that out there.
Not suffering. The least of our
Okay.
worries. Thank you.
Okay. Well, okay. All right. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay. Take care.
You too.